like it came from the exact spot where the forbidden room was. We knew for sure that it couldn't be mistaken for Gary's room because that was on the other side of the house. So we were confident that it was happening in that creepy little red door room. And let me tell you, we tried everything to figure out why there would be noises coming from that room if A, no one had been in there in years, and B, Gary was the only other person in the house besides us. Because deep down, we knew something weird was happening inside that room. And there was no good explanation for why there was noises coming out of there at 2 a.m. And you might think that this just made us more curious and excited to go in that room, but honestly, it did the opposite. We were really sketched out to find out what was in there. Because all we knew at this point was that it had to be something more than what Gary was telling us. So we weren't sure if we had the guts to still try going in there. Something happened that made it feel like we had to figure out what was inside there. As we're walking through the house, randomly, out of nowhere, we hear a sound, and then the power goes off. Complete darkness hit the entire mansion like someone just flipped a switch. No warning, no flickering lights, just instant darkness that was so thick that I couldn't even see my hand right in front of my face. And it wasn't just their house. When we looked out the window, we could tell that it was the whole neighborhood. So me and my friend are standing there in pitch black silence, surrounded by all this expensive furniture that we couldn't even see anymore. When we realized this was actually the perfect opportunity. With no lights on in the entire house, nobody would notice us sneaking into that creepy little red door room. The darkness that had seemed terrifying just 5 seconds ago suddenly became our cover for getting into that room. Me and my friend looked at each other, well, we couldn't see each other's faces because it was super dark, but we both agreed this was an opportunity we had to take. So we made the decision that would change everything at this sleepover. It's time to go find out what's up there for ourselves. So we went back up to the gaming room where the red door was connected to, and we're walking right next to each other. Like I'm talking skin on skin. That sounded weird. But we didn't want to turn our phone lights on because we were trying to be as discreet as possible. So we're walking through the complete darkness. And eventually, we get back to the gaming room. And then, to the red door. Before trying to open it, we put our ears up to the door to see if we could hear anything coming from it. But there was nothing except silence on the other side. So we both take a deep breath, and for the first time, we tried turning the knob on the door. I was about 105% sure that this door would be locked based off how Gary was acting. But to our surprise, it was open. Maybe this meant that most people weren't dumb enough to actually try going in there, so they could just leave it open. But anyway, we pulled on the knob, and immediately we could feel dust from the room filling up our nostrils. We weren't sure what was in here yet, but Gary definitely wasn't lying when he said that people don't come in here a lot, because it was dusty. So before fully opening the door, I said, "Hello?" just to check if anyone was in there that was willing to respond. But we got no response back. And part of me was expecting someone to respond because of the noises that we heard earlier and the lights we saw coming from the room. So how did all these things happen if no one was actually in here? Well, when we didn't get a response back after saying hello, finally, we opened the door fully. And we saw exactly why Gary wanted to keep this room a secret, but not the whole reason.